All right, next we will transition to the Ward 1 Seat A race, and we will start by hearing from candidate Debbie Thompson.
Hi. I'm Debbie Thompson, running for Ward 1, and I have lived in this city for most of my life since 1972 in second grade. I coached girls softball about 10 years at Rochester Allen, at the Roger Allen Park. I was a letter carrier in Rochester for many years, and I volunteered at cleanup days, and I really do want to do more of the cleanup days. I started my pest control company here 18 years ago, and I'm working on growing that. I'm a proud mother of one wonderful daughter and now a great son-in-law, and I'm thrilled to say that I'm a brand new Grammy. I love Rochester. I want to do everything I can to keep it a great community. My goals for Rochester is to make Rochester grow smart and more affordable, and to see it grow in a way that residents and businesses can grow and thrive here. I would like to see more activities for the youth outside of the school and the rec department. I also think there should be some better communication between city and taxpayers. And I love to learn, so this is a great place for me to be right now. My pledge is that I will always be hardworking, and I will have taxpayers' best interest in my decisions. I will make more communication, and I will be honest, and I welcome any input that you may have. You could always email me. I'm Debbie Thompson, running for Ward 1. Thank you.
Ms. Thompson, appreciate that. And finally, we'll hear from Ward 1 Seat A candidate, Mr. Raymond Wayman.
Thank you, TJ. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight. My name is Ray Wayman. I'm running for represent Ward 1 in the Rochester City Council. I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania in a Christian home where my parents taught me some pretty simple values. Work hard, tell the truth, be grateful for what you have, and do your part to make the world a better place. Those lessons stayed with me through 10 years of service in the United States Air Force and over 20 years serving our country in federal law enforcement with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, helping to protect our borders and hold companies accountable that try to cheat our country out of millions of unpaid tariffs. I retired from that career and now operate my own very successful e-commerce business. After a lifetime of public service and living in many different places, my wife Elizabeth and I intentionally choose Rochester to make it our home. I want to give back to the community that has welcomed us with open arms. If I'm elected, my priorities are straightforward. I want to make sure your tax dollars are used wisely. I want to keep supporting small businesses so downtown continues to grow into a place people want to visit. I want us to plan ahead, especially for big changes coming down the road, like when waste management eventually leaves the city. And above all, I want to listen to you, the taxpayers. I think government works best when it listens to the people it serves. I'm not a career politician, I'm a problem solver. I believe in taking action to solve problems, not just talking about them. Rochester is a great city with a lot of potential, and with common sense leadership and a willingness to work together, I believe we can make it even better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wayman. For our Ward 1 race. And let's pivot a little bit to arts and culture. As we sit here today, we hear the Stratford County Wind Symphony performing live up in the Rochester Opera House, which is always great. But talking about the Opera House and the role that the Opera House and arts and culture in general play in the revitalization of downtown, would you support further enhancements to the Opera House to make sure that it remains vibrant, or do you think that's something the city should not invest in? We'll start with Mr. Wayman.
Thank you, TJ. I love the arts. I love the Opera House. I'm a big supporter. We come here to a lot of shows, and I think art is an important thing in our culture. We can't just focus on the roads and the, everything else. We need to sprinkle in some things that people enjoy. And if we have good art shows here, we have good shows at the opera and other entertainment events, perhaps if we could develop the fairgrounds, we could attract outsiders to come to spend money in our city, and we will get a reputation that, oh, that's a great place to go for a show and a meal with the work they're doing downtown. So I'm 100% supporter that we really need more arts, and we should find ways to invest in art if the tax dollars allow it.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson?
Yes, I do support the arts in Rochester and keeping Rochester downtown area beautiful, especially the Opera House. It's been here for such a long time. I go there a lot, and I think it's amazing that we have that. There's other cities that don't even have that, and we can say we do. Even doing some murals downtown, ones we do have been really beautiful, but keep up going with that, and I do love the arts.
All right, thank you. All right, you guys did a great job with round one of the questions. Next question will be one that everyone can answer. We'll start with Ward 1, and we'll move it all the way up to Ward 6. And we'll start with Mr. Wayman on this one. And the question is this: as you all know, Rochester has a tax cap in place. It's been in place for several years now. Would like to know your thoughts on the tax cap, and if you would ever envision voting for a budget that would override it, in what circumstances would you override?
Can I say simple answer? Sure. Yes and no. That's it. The tax cap is an important management tool to keep our taxes regulated. We've been, over the last 5 years, under the tax cap every year for a cumulative total of about $14 million. So that's a good record. I'd like to keep that trend going. The only reason I see for going over a tax cap would be for a dire emergency, like we have a massive hurricane or something of that nature, and we really need the money from the community to mitigate this disaster. I don't see it happening on my watch. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Ms. Thompson.
Could you repeat the question?
Question is, in regards to the tax cap we have here in Rochester, would you ever vote on a budget that would override it, or what circumstance would you consider an override?
Definitely anything that is very important, any emergencies or things like that, would definitely see that as being something that we could override. Try to think of anything that could be, you said that we could?
Could be, it could be anything.
Yeah, just anything that's emergency that we really need in the town is the only thing I could think that I would do.
Perfect, thank you. All right, thank you for that question. Our next question actually came from a member of the public, and we will ask it to everybody. And the question is as follows. I'll start with Ms. Malone, and we'll work down. The question reads, if privately funded youth programs or associations were at risk of shutting down due to safety concerns, such as issues surrounding Roger Allen Park, what role, if any, do you believe the city should play in supporting or assisting these programs? We will go to Mr. Wayman. Sorry about that.
I've had 10 minutes to think about this, and I haven't really come up with a good answer other than what we've had. She'll have 11 minutes. Roger Allen, I understand, is a private park, but youth sports are an important part of any community. It teaches our youth teamwork and dedication and, working together. So I support team sports and youth sports. The question I'll ask, and I'll ask this for everything I do if I'm your representative, is how much will it cost and how much are we willing to pay for it? If the taxpayers are willing to pay to do something like this, that's fine with me. Communicate that to me and I'll vote that way. If you don't want it, I'll vote the other way and not have it. It's up to the community to decide how much are we willing to pay and what are we willing to do for our youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson.
Well, I practically lived at Roger Allen for many years. My daughter in sports, coaching, and cleanup and all that stuff. So it is a hard question. What do you do, But I wouldn't want to see it go away. Definitely not, because that's one of my things is I want there to be more things in the city for the youth. We take that away, and that's a big one. So coming up with some type of meeting like group meeting like Tom talked about, to figure it out, that's what I'm for, because I wouldn't want to lose it.
Thank you. All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's go with this question. I'll ask it to all of you. We'll start with Ms. Malone, and we'll just do the you all the way around. So the question is this: give us a fun fact about yourself, something that's not already out in the questionnaires, something the public might know. What is a fun fact you'd want your voters to know about you? Well, that's good. Mr. Wayman.
What could be more fun than stand-up comedy? If you use the interwebs and search Raymond Wayman, some YouTube videos may come up of some of my comedy bits, and I won't make any money off of it, but you might get 4 or 5 minutes of good laughter, and then you can vote for me on November 4th.
All right, Greg, did you hear that back there in the booth? Can we get some of that YouTube footage on? Thank you. All right, Ms. Thompson.
I was just saying to him that I don't really have any fun facts. I just work all the time, so it's like.
So
but
you mentioned you own a pest control business?
Yes, I own a pest control
how about
company.
most interesting job site you've arrived on and eradicated?
Okay, so there's fun facts about that. I have gone to a house where there was a deceased person there, and they thought that it was caused by bees, and we had to eradicate them, and it was not fun. It happened to be on Elm Street, so I always call it the Nightmare on Elm Street job.
All right.
Yeah, I've been in the pest control business since 2002, and I finally decided to go in 2015 and get my entomologist degree. So I am that now.
Congratulations, that's great. Thank you.
you.
All right, let's bring it back to some of the pressing questions of our community needs. And let's talk a little bit about public safety. And as we talk about public safety, we think of our police, our fire, public works, EMS services. What priority do you think should be the top priority in public safety for the City Council to address in the coming budget cycle? We'll start with you, Mr. Wayman.
When it comes to public safety, everything is a priority. So a top priority, I think we need to really support our police and make sure they have the funding and the staffing that's required to keep our community safe. When it comes to fire department, same thing. We need to have the staffing and the funding to make sure they have the equipment that they need, because when we call either of these agencies, we want them to show up there well-equipped and do what we expect them to do. We often don't think about our police and firefighters actually being in action until we really need them. And when I call them, I want them to be there with the right equipment to save me. So I think, properly funding them is the best thing.
All right, thank you. Ms. Thompson.
I guess ditto. No. So it's the same for me. I think the police are very important. We need them. We need to get some more of them. And the funding should be for them, so they have everything they need to keep our cities safe. And same with the fire department. We also need to make sure they have enough firefighters working there and have the funding that they need.
Perfect. Thank you.